Are you looking for that special something to add to your cocktails or mocktails to make your drink better than the restaurant you frequent? Here we go. Today we're going to talk about some of the experiments that I've tried, some of my favorite mocktail mixers or simple syrups that I make here at home, and I'm going to challenge you in the comments to put your favorite simple syrup recipe or some random ingredients and see what I can make. We're going to count down the top 5 of my simple syrup recipes with a very special 6th recipe that I'm going to intermix somewhere in this video. And we're going to start it off with number 5. My Blackberry fennel seed simple syrup. My Blackberry fennel seed simple syrup uses blackberries, about a cup of blackberries, a teaspoon of fennel seed, and a cup of turbinado sugar with a cup of water. Boil the water, put the sugar in just like any simple syrup, let it start to dissolve, and stir it with your whisk or spoon or whatever you're using. Then I add the fennel seed and I add the blackberries and I let it boil until the blackberries start to pop, bubble, and froth a little bit. Then you take it off the heat and you let it cool for about 30 minutes. Once it's cool, the pot is cool to the touch and the liquid is nice and calm. I double strain it into a squeeze bottle, which makes it really easy to squeeze and pour into whatever I'm measuring with when I'm making my mocktails or cocktails.
Why do blackberries and fennel work together?
Oh, thank you, lady behind the camera. Why do blackberries and fennel work together? So the inspiration came, I cook a lot with fennel seed and I like the licorice sort of flavor of the fennel seed. I wanted something sweet and I thought blackberries have this really sweet texture and quality to them that I think would meld really well with fennel seed. And using turbinado sugar instead of white sugar or demerara gives it more of a caramel flavor, almost like you're eating blackberry pie with just this little extra hint of licorice to it. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm gonna have some mocktails I might put in the description or in the comments that coincide with this recipe.
I love that the fennel and the blackberry together make it feel particularly wild.
Oh, see what she did there? It's wild. It's wild. I'll come up with a wild cocktail for this simple syrup. Before we get to number 2, you know what? I am drinking a mocktail and it just so happens to be a latte made by my wife. And there's a nice little head of foam here. And this is what I have to deal with a beard. We're gonna keep going.
Don't get foam on my mic.
Oh. All right. Number 2, we're going with lime coriander simple syrup. Do you want to take your margarita, just your regular margarita, and make it fantastic? This is the way to go. What I have here, I've got 2 limes. I used about a head of coriander or cilantro. This one's been sitting out, so it's a little wilty. It's, you know, it's not as firm as it should be. And then personally, I vacuum sealed it into a bag to sort of infuse a little bit better. You don't need to do this. You can just chop up the cilantro, coriander, put it in the lime juice, let it sit for a little while. But the important thing I wanted to talk about are your limes. You might be doing it wrong. So I've got 2 limes here. This lime is super dark. It looks like it's ripened and it's the right color, all of that kind of stuff. And I have a second lime here that's got blemishes, yellow spots on it. It's a little bit softer, but it looks like it was just sitting out in the sun. Of these 2 limes, which do you think is sweeter? Woman behind the camera.
Well, the one that's got a little more sunny.
That's right. Don't buy these limes. These are not ripened, and they're not gonna ripen at home. They're just gonna sit there and they're gonna get harder and drier until you throw them out. You get these, they've got tons of juice inside. They're ripe, they're perfect. Unless you live in Tucson. If you live in Tucson, keep buying these because I want to go to the store and keep finding these. So, cup of sugar, cup of water. You pour in the lime mixture. You boil it for a few minutes, take it off the heat, let it sit and cool for about 15 or 20. Double strain it into whatever bottle or canister you're using, and you're good to go. It's super easy. It tastes phenomenal. It's fragrant. It's got that lime to it. It's got the cilantro to it. It's in the name. but it works really, really well. And that's your mixer for your margarita or a mocktail that sort of encompasses maybe a whiskey sour. That might be interesting. Anyhow, it's good. It just makes sense and it works. Number 3 is my chili agave, which, by the way, I didn't write these. This is not my writing. It's beautiful, huh? The chili agave simple syrup. This one, if you backed the Kickstarter for vocal research that we did with Charismatic Voice, you might have seen one of the mocktails and cocktails using this simple syrup. It's to die for. 1 cup of water, half a cup of agave syrup, and then I have these kefir lime leaves, which you can pretty much get. Grocery stores might carry them, but really if you go to a nursery in town, wherever you are, they might have kefir limes and they'll give you some lime leaves.
Or if you have a Sandra.
If you have a Sandra, that's right. All you gotta do is meow. And guajillo peppers. These are dried. You can get them at Mexican markets, you can get them at Costco. Basically, yeah, 1 cup of water, half a cup of agave syrup. You just get that heated up. You toss 4 lime leaves and 3 of the peppers in there. Let it simmer for 15 minutes. Take it off the heat, let it cool, strain it. You got your simple syrup. And this is great for, I use it for mezcal cocktails where you get a little bit of the smoky. This gives it a kick. So it's got the sweetness, it's a healthy sweetness, not like the sugars that we're using everywhere else. This is more of a healthy sugar. And it's got that kick, back of the throat, love it. I'll move this out of the way, la la la. Okay, number 4, I believe I did this one with the cocktail that we made, the Bob Dylan cocktail, or mocktail that the video is in a card right up here. We used our grapefruit and clove turbinado sugar simple syrup, and this is how it's made. Cue the video. 1 cup of water, 1 cup of turbinado, sugar in the raw, and then grapefruit. I used half a grapefruit and juiced it. I got about 1/4 of a cup of grapefruit juice from here. I also got some peel, not from this one, but from another grapefruit, and 6 cloves. Boil the water, put in the sugar, put in the juice and the cloves, boil it for 15 minutes, take it off the heat. Yeah.
Why does grapefruit and cloves go together so well?
Why does grapefruit and cloves work so well? I'm not a grapefruit fan. I don't like grapefruit. It's a little bit bitter and tart for my taste. But then mixing in the clove gives it this wintry, warm feeling to it. This extra spice that sort of pulls out all of these extra flavors from the grapefruit. And then of course the sugar sort of candies that idea. And it just brings a complete separate element to it. So if I'm making a mocktail or a cocktail and I need a little bit of that bitter, I don't need to use bitters. I can use this simple syrup and it satisfies that bitter element of that drink and makes whatever it is just full body. Second to last, before we get to my favorite and most used simple syrup, this is the special one, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to tell you, I started whipping this up today, and my wife, Elizabeth, said, "That sounds disgusting." I did it anyway, because why not? And let me tell you, I haven't made any cocktails or mocktails with this, but I will. And when I do, it's gonna be epic. So, I call this one the fiery passion syrup. We start off with a passion fruit, 3 passion fruits to be exact. They can be expensive, so if you're on a budget, this is not the simple syrup for you. 3 passion fruits, a whole jalapeno, some ginger root, some fresh basil leaves, and demerara sugar. Now, turbinado and demerara, they're both a brown sugar from the cane plant. However, the difference in processing, the turbinado sugar is gonna be more caramely, whereas the demerara is gonna be more like molasses. And so this is gonna have a deeper, thicker, much more full-bodied flavor than if I use the turbinado sugar. 1 cup water, 1 cup of demerara. Dissolve all of that, about a teaspoon of fresh microplaned ginger. And then I added the chopped up jalapeno, 6 halves or 3 whole passion fruits, and a whole stalk of basil that I julienned. Let that boil for about 20 minutes. I wanted to extract all of the flavor of that the jalapeno and let it cool, strain it, and you're left with the fiery passion syrup. Once again, what question do you have, my love?
Why is this for Kirk and not for Elizabeth?
Well, Elizabeth doesn't like spicy foods. She likes spicy husbands, but not spicy foods or drinks. So this one and the chili agave syrup are not for her, but someone who likes a little bit of spice in their drinks or a little bit of spice in their mocktails, this is definitely the one for you. I like something occasionally that I don't expect. I like a margarita with some serrano chilies in it. I like just messing around and mixing things up just a little bit. It's not something that I would have, 3 or 4 cocktails, but it is something that if I want to experiment, play around, and have fun with my tongue, with food and drink, then this is the syrup for you. Last one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm interested to find out what simple syrups you guys want to make. Sounds fun. This one here, I use all the time. In fact, I have 2 bottles of this. I've got another bottle that's about half empty at this point. When I make it, I do a double batch, okay?
That's why there's not much cardamom left.
That's right, I go through cardamom like crazy because of this, okay? I'm not an alcoholic. So, cardamom simple syrup. This is the easiest one. It's 1 cup of water, 1 cup of white sugar, about 15 cardamom pods that you crush up so you can get all the little nuggets and berries from inside the pods. Boil it for 15 minutes, let it cool, double strain, done.
Such a crowd pleaser.
It's every time we have people over and I make some sort of cocktail, and I have the most phenomenal old-fashioned recipe that uses this simple syrup that I will make on the channel eventually, but this is the simple syrup. Of any of the 6 that I've shown today, this is the one that you should start with and you'll probably stay with for eternity.
This is the one you should stay with for eternity.
Aww, huh? Yeah. Make some cocktails, break some eggs, sometimes in cocktails, and let me know down in the comments, what ingredients should I put into a simple syrup? And if you want to check out some drinks that I made with some of these, check this link. Oh, there's a playlist. Oh my gosh, do I have enough videos for a playlist? It's there. Maybe I'll add to it. Maybe. Who knows?